Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Chainlink. Chainlink is in this descending wedge, a pretty huge descending wedge that actually started here in September 21. So any breakout out of that should be quite meaningful. And the target of a breakout of a descending wedge, that is typically the beginning of the wedge. And we can argue that the beginning of the wedge is somewhere up here around 35 US dollars. And this would be the price target for that. So from $14 to 35, quite a bit of a move. Now don't expect this to move in one go, but obviously we've seen some moves like that before here, for example, in January 21, where we've moved from $8 roughly to 37. So this can happen, and this happened back then within, pretty much 2 months. So that can happen fairly quickly. So bear that in mind, right? Overall, yeah, in this descending wedge, but the chart currently doesn't look good. It doesn't look very strong at the moment. I think it's looking even weaker than from some of the other altcoins that did obviously in the most recent move up quite a significant pump. You know, Cardano moved quite a bit, Solana moved quite a bit. We had a lot that actually moved up, VeChain as well, quite significantly, whereas here Chainlink actually only moved up 55 to 60%, made actually a lower high. Yeah, some cryptos actually made a higher high compared to the previous one, or even at least matched the previous one. But here, where the previous high was around $19.50, yeah, Chainlink only moved up to around $18.50. So it's looking fairly weak generally, while Bitcoin is currently moving up and adhering to the Elliott wave count in my Bitcoin video. Chainlink is moving up a little bit as well, but you know, they are sort of related, but they still move different. But Chainlink is currently in a trend continuation pattern here. So in the last video, I showed you here a bearish pennant. Now that moved into something like a rectangle pattern. Same thing, trend continuation pattern. So that worked out in terms of the continuation of the correction. And here again, we've got a pattern in which now Chainlink is moving a symmetrical triangle, which again looks a bit like a trend continuation pattern. So you've got the flagpole here, you've got your flag here, or bearish pennant, and you would also move then down more likely than not. Of course, you never know, and a breakout pattern is only broken when you get the breakout. Make sure you don't have a fake out. So therefore, I would always like to wait for a retest from the other side. So let's say you break out of this here to the upside, you would want a retest, ideally on the 4-hour chart, better on the daily. And then you can go up from here, yeah. But as I said, a trend continuation pattern, the trend is currently going down. Therefore, it would be more likely than not to actually come down here, do a bit of retest, and then move down. Now, Chainlink is back at a very, very, very important support level. So that support level is the $13.50 level, and that is the low that we already saw back in July 21, and that is the wave A low. So in every correction, typically, or the most basic type of a correction, you can see that here if I zoom out, you can see this ABC pattern. So Chainlink made its wave 1 here to the upside, the high back in May 21, and then we moved down in a wave 2, and this wave 2 consists of an ABC. You can see this is sort of a more complex one, and then within these you have, you know, additional waves. But in the end, we're looking at the medium term here. I think the correction isn't finished yet, especially as the Chainlink chart looks fairly weak. We are in a bullish breakout pattern, so that is very, very important to understand. But as long as you are in the pattern, you are going down. You know, you can see that next support, or if we, let's say we break down here to the support level today, that could even take us to the low, or even low, making could cause Chainlink to make a lower low, because the previous low here, it by the way touched my target area, yeah, at the 78.6% fib level at $11.50. I bought down here, I think at $11.70 or something, made channel members aware, and this was perfectly the low we made since then, 60% up. Now I lost quite a bit again, and this doesn't look bullish. This doesn't look bullish, but it's in line with what other cryptocurrencies are doing as well, broadly at least. And this $13.50 level is so important because it is that significant low back from July, structurally very important level. You can see how often that was support before. So obviously next support, if we break that, would be that 78.6% fib level, and that is at $11.35, or let's see, $11.30, the 78.6% fib level. Now we only briefly touched this target area, and therefore it's quite likely actually that we come into it once more, at least fill the wick, or maybe even, yeah, go in there and spend a bit of time in the target area. We could even go down to the 88.7% fib level. Now, how realistic is that? I don't know. There would be quite a bit of a drop, but that would be the 88.7% fib level. And also this 88.7% fib level is not too unlikely. We've seen various cryptocurrencies come down to that level already. So Chainlink at the moment holding still fairly well above the 78.6, but as soon as you lose that $13.50 level, which in my view will be lost if Bitcoin makes another sell-off, then you're going to go, in my opinion, at least to $13.50, but more likely even a bit lower. And we could even go down here to the support level of that wedge. If that happened today, it would be at around $10.85 or something. Yeah, so roughly here in that area, $11, something like that. And yeah, as I said, as long as you are in this wedge, you are in the wedge, and you're not going to make new all-time highs. You're making lower highs and lower lows. Yes, the downtrend is slowing down, otherwise you wouldn't be in a wedge. It's a bullish, as I said, bullish pattern, but as long as you're in it, you're not going to make it. So far, Chainlink has done everything that we assumed it would do. Yeah, so Chainlink has come into this target area, even though it was very briefly. This is the target area where normally cryptocurrencies in such a wave 2 are turning around, again between that $5.97 and $11.30 level. The 88.7% fib level and the 78.6. These are obviously in every wave different Fibonacci levels, but in a wave 2, this is the most likely scenario. And especially here with Chainlink, the price needed to go below the wave A, and it did that. And as you can imagine, it was quite difficult to remain bearish here throughout, even when we moved all the way up to nearly $30 again. But so far it's been working out. And yeah, I think we haven't seen the low yet. Yeah, the last move up was just too weak, and the current move down is just too impulsive. And as I just showed you, we're currently forming a trend continuation pattern that could take Chainlink once more into that target area. Looking at the 4-hour chart, however, we are seeing here a bullish crossover on the MACD. Now, this could, if that translates over onto the 8-hour chart, which, you know, it hasn't done that, so we don't have a bullish crossover yet, but we see here some a reduction of the negative momentum. Now, if that can translate over and lead to a bullish crossover here, it could also affect the daily. We are seeing a slight effect here, but it's too little. And if that plays out here, and we see here a few days of reducing the negative momentum on the daily chart, then you could possibly even move up here and maybe touch that resistance level of the channel again. That would be around $16.50 or so. But I think, again, to really get back to an uptrend here, we need to break out of that huge descending wedge. It would, by the way, be a trading opportunity, yeah, for anybody who's doing this and who's interested in trading. So I personally, for me, I like to dollar cost average into around this yellow target area. But of course, this is a trading opportunity. So when you see the breakout out of this descending wedge, again, come up here, yeah, possibly do a retest, ideally, yeah. And then very importantly, to move above the previous rejection point. So there's two ways. You know, you could just trade the retest, moving up from $15 to $18, and then here maybe the first take profit, and then from here you could move on. But yeah, I would personally wait for a retest, especially after such a long downtrend and a first glimmer of an uptrend. Yeah, so there's the retest is important, especially ideally on the 4-hour chart, better on the daily. All right, that's my view here for Chainlink. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership, where you can get access to the Telegram live chat, the Discord server, and a weekly live stream. And also make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We're getting there much more active this year, and you can find the official social media links in the video description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.